questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good Tuesday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Here's what's on the menu at Elk City Meals on Wheels. Whew. Boy, this month already flying by. Today, lasagna, corn, garlic bread, and pears. Plus, it's Door Prize Tuesday. Door Prize Tuesday on this 9th day of December. We're located at 1510 West 9th Street. Calling your order, 225-5821. They'll package it up and have it all ready for you. Dining room hours 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. Senior citizens meals, just $7. Regular meals, $8. Everybody is welcome. Those prices include your tax, your dessert, your drink, the whole deal. Today, lasagna, corn, garlic bread, and pears. Plus, it's Door Prize Tuesday. Nominate a hero. Speaking of Christmas, who's that neighbor, teacher, or volunteer who always shows up, always goes that extra mile for their fellow man or woman? Well, nominate them as Santa's Christmas hero on KECO. We're going to have several different heroes that will be recognized and get a $250 prize from our KECO Christmas sponsors. And we'll share photos on Facebook. Deadline to tell their story, December 23rd, 11:59 p.m. Enter at KECOFM.com. KECOFM.com. It takes about maybe 3 or 4 minutes to fill out one of these nomination forms and submit it. Costs you nothing to submit it. And again, that person's name will be recognized. We'll get a $250 prize from a KCO sponsor. Okay, coming up Wednesday, December 17th, next Wednesday, 10:30 a.m., Elk City Airport Terminal and Hangar. Ribbon cutting ceremony for the new hangar and airport terminal there at 101 Norman Martin Boulevard, right here in Elk City. Remember when I got this flyer, I thought about good old Norman Martin, and he had a little helicopter, had some planes, had some crashes, but you know what? He was an aviation pioneer here in this town. The Elk City Airport Terminal Hangar ribbon cutting ceremony next Wednesday. Be a lot of dignitaries there. We'd like you to show up if you wish. 10:30 a.m. next Wednesday, December 17th. Carnegie Library, the friends that have the Carnegie Caravan, they're ready to fire it up and bring you free books. If you're having trouble reading regular print, you can call them and ask them about their free program that can help. 225-0136, Friends of the Carnegie Library. The bookmobile, basically. Carnegie Caravan, bringing you books in the Elk City area. 225-0136. Okay, let's see here. Get my business in order here. We'll get right to it this morning. We're going to have David Holt, the president of the Consumers Energy Alliance, joining us in the next couple of segments. Looking forward to that, as always. I gave the Baker Hughes rig count yesterday. Here's some of the plays that are making it happen here. Oklahoma's oil and gas drilling was unchanged in the past week, as the latest Baker Hughes rig count indicated that I shared yesterday. Showed no losses or gains in the state's popular drilling regions. The Canna Woodford remained the most active with an unchanged count of 17 of those 40-plus rigs are in the Canna Woodford, followed by the Granite Wash at 12. The Ardmore Woodford remained at 3 active rigs, while the Arkoma Woodford stayed at 2 rigs. The Mississippian also continued with 1 rig. Elsewhere around the nation, the plays go like this. The Permian Basin saw no change with a count of 251 rigs in West Texas and Southeast New Mexico. The Williston of North Dakota remained at 29 rigs, while the Marcellus play stayed at 24. The Eagle Ford in South Texas saw a decline of 1 rig to 38, and the Haynesville in East Texas and Louisiana remained at 41 total oil and gas rigs. Of other energy plays in the U.S., the DJ Basin saw no change with 9 active drilling rigs there in the DJ Niobrara area. And the Utica continued with 14 rigs. The Barnett play of North Texas was consistent with a continued rig count of 2. So there's some of your plays right there. So we'll give you some energy stock prices, then we'll tell you why they're down just a skosh. West Texas Intermediate on the New York Mercantile Exchange January contract down 13 cents, trading at $58.75 a barrel. Brent crude oil in the ICE Futures Exchange February contract out of London down 12 cents to $62.37 a barrel. Tocom crude oil in Japan out of Tokyo up 100 yen per kiloliter on a December contract. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas January trading down 16 cents, trading at $4.75. You remember they went up over $5 to almost $5.30 per million BTU. Down just a little bit, but anything north of 450 is really good, folks. RBOB gasoline on the New York Mercantile Exchange January contract down 10 cents, trading 179.71. Heating oil in the New York Mercantile Exchange down $1.75 to 228.07. Also, January contract and a December contract has gas oil in the New York Mercantile Exchange down $9.75 to $657.25 per metric ton. So there is some of your energy stock prices. And, of course, the Iraqi oil for production returned, so everything dropped about 2% after closing last week at their highest level since November 18th. Crude oil prices yesterday fell 2% after production was restored in a large Iraqi oil field. The Lukoil West Kurna 2 oil field accounts for about 5.5% of the world's oil supply. An export pipeline leaked last week, but Reuters reported it had been restored. So that's one of the reasons that the oil has slid just a skosh. Well, we've been talking a little bit about Tyson Foods and their fight with Gettner Drummond over the pollution, or so-called pollution. So the Tyson threatens a pullout of poultry operations. Tyson Foods is threatening to end its poultry raising contracts in eastern Oklahoma if State Attorney General Gettner Drummond doesn't ease up on his efforts to force a cleanup of poultry pollution of the Illinois River and Lake Tenkiller. The company issued a statement recently in response to Drummond's contention that the companies responsible for the pollution should pay millions of dollars in fines. He singled out Tyson since it's one of the largest firms involved in the decades-old lawsuit filed by the state. Even as they claim to be concerned about this litigation, Tyson is actively working to acquire additional processing capacity in the watershed. Drummond said in his statement, Oklahomans deserve better than corporate intimidation tactics from a company that has repeatedly shown it prioritizes profits over people and environmental responsibility. But unless these leaders can persuade Attorney General Drummond to put the needs of all Oklahomans, or the needs above all Oklahomans, enrichment of out-of-state trial lawyers, Tyson has no choice but to reduce its business in the region, according to the statement. The company also said it would honor existing poultry grower contracts, but can't offer new contracts in the Illinois River watershed unless the state offers more favorable solutions. So that is what they're saying. Well, enjoy your warmer weather. We'll get to the weather forecast later, but still, spring-like weather is what most Oklahomans will enjoy this week, at least for a while. Oklahoma Messinette climatologist Gary McManus says, enjoy it while you can. Very early spring, but we'll take those 60s this week before the bottom drops out, and we all know just how painful that can be. He wrote in Monday's Messinette update, and another downside of the weather ahead. No rain or snow is in the immediate forecast. Take a look at the 7-day map, and when I looked at the 7-day map, it didn't show any precipitation possibilities around this area, and we are dry. We're dry in a popcorn fart. We need some moisture in this area, and we'll continue to pray for that. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to have David Holt, the president of the Consumers Energy Alliance, right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavors 7 days a week. The grill is always hot, and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins, to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
Help us celebrate Black Friday all month long at Windy Nissan with great deals on new and used vehicles with nearly 200 to choose from. Interest rates as low as 0%. Payments as far out as 90 days. Payments as low as $199 a month on select used vehicles. We truly have a little bit of something for everybody. We've got brand new Frontiers with 6-inch lift kits, leveling kits, off-road wheels and tires, cold air intakes, exhaust. We have used cars as low as $69.99. Gas mileage as much as 40 miles per gallon on brand new Nissan Versa. Rebates as high as $5,000 plus discount off new Murano and new Nissan Pathfinder. It's Black Friday all month long right here at Windy Nissan in Elk City, Oklahoma, your hometown dealer. Windy Nissan is now offering Sunbit financing in our service department for service tickets as low as $400 or up to $10,000. Interest rates starting as low as 0% and finance terms as long as 72 months at Windy Nissan, your hometown dealer. Black Friday all month long.
You got 5-6 tractors out there. You got a dozer, a traco, a grader, something like that. I mean, you go through a lot of oil in a season. I mean, you'll use a few hundred gallons in a season. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is, it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. They can come in and talk to us, see what they want, or give us a call, and we can come out and see what they have, fill their tanks, set them tanks. That's what we've done here in the past. We've converted a lot of farmers over to our brand, our house brand of motor diesel oil. The price savings it's huge for them. We sell it to oilfield companies also. They use it in frac pumps, and they're not happy, you know it, and it's working great for them.
Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse.
The price savings it's huge for them.
Can I ask you a basic, somewhat obvious question? Energy, agriculture, gas, oil, beef. Is it possible to talk about one without talking about the other?
Not standing over a gas-operated flat top, I suppose, next to a bunch of gas-operated fryers.
Gas, and more gas. I live in California.
Yeah.
Maybe you've read somebody somewhere has waged a war on gas stoves.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Thoughts?
In a nutshell, I prefer to cook on gas stove.
There it is. It's official.
See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
Killoffer Flooring Center, right on the corner, right on the price. Corner of 6th and Main, downtown Elk City, Oklahoma.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Thanks for sticking around. And some of the sponsors that help make this program possible, American Hose and Supply. For you to keep making money, your equipment, your machinery has to keep running. Small pin hole, and a hose can stop the largest piece of equipment. You're not making any money there. American Hose and Supply, they understand it. They'll help you. They'll help you get back up and going, whether they stock you ahead of time or in your time of need, get you that hose. American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Call 303-1123, 303-1123. Go to those who know hose. My good friend David Allen Guest. If you find yourself in a situation you need to sell your royalties, you need someone you can trust, someone that will not take advantage of you. David's a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. I promise you, he will give you a fair market price. He's been managing royalty and mineral rights for himself and others for nearly 50 years now. He has the experience to help you navigate through every aspect of it. So if you're just needing help managing your minerals and royalties, David Allen Guest can do it. And he'll get you the most out of your royalties. There you have it. Get you the most out of your royalties. Have somebody taking care of business, somebody you can trust. Call David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager today, 405-341-8698, 405-341-8698, or look him up on the interweb. And Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, part of the OERB. For a complete list or to register for SOAR's upcoming educational opportunities, quickly just visit SOAR, www.soer.oerb.com. The next one coming up December 11th next week. It's an engaging discussion with a panel of experts on AI, robotics, and the future of data management in the energy industry. It's a very important deal. It's a Zoom meeting. You don't have to go to Oklahoma City. Just get yourself pre-registered. Doesn't cost anything. AI. That's the new future, man. And they are going to talk about how AI, robotics, and the future of data management in the energy industry affects you and your company. Go to www.soer.oerb.com. Okay. Consumers Energy Alliance. This is a wonderful organization that, well, they go out there and they stump for all of us that are consumers of energy, which that's everybody listening to this radio program. President David Holt, how are you this morning, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend. How are you?
Man, like I said, if I got any better than this, I'd be president of your outfit.
Oh man, you said that offline. I'll say it again. You don't want that.
You're right as rain. But I tell you what, I appreciate people like yourself that are willing to do it, because there's a lot of people out there that consume energy. Nearly 99.9% of us, if not 100%. And we have somebody like your organization going out there and trying to make it affordable, safe, and sustainable.
You're exactly right, man. I think, even if somebody's off the grid, they're still using something that's made with energy. If you're off the grid living in a tent, that tent can't be made without oil and natural gas. So I don't think there's anybody that we could find that's not using energy in some way. So it is the lifeblood of the economy. It's, in my view, the most important thing in the economy because it makes everything else go. Agriculture, commodities, transportation, literally everything. So it's important, and sensible energy policy is the key, and that's what we focus on.
Affordability. Let's talk about that, because, David, that's the big thing. I mean, like you said, everybody's using energy. Can we continue to afford it? There are several states that, their energy rates are really, really high, and for just cause, because of their own rhetoric. Talk about that.
It's interesting with this word affordability. It's kind of coming into the political discussion a little bit, and you're seeing some of our friends on the left talk about affordable energy quite a bit. It's always a really good discussion, but what they seem to have forgotten is a lot of their bad policies are what has led us to unaffordable energy. You cannot have energy policies that restrict natural gas, that prevent you from building out pipelines and infrastructure, that mandate one form of energy over another. All those states and the previous administration that have done that over the last, 10, 15 years at the state level, and obviously the 4 years of the Biden administration, they have led us to a spot where we have, we're not as set up from a grid level, from a power perspective, as we need to be. And so that's what we're seeing from the electricity markets. You're seeing a lot of difference between the states. Some states that have had this restrictive energy policy are paying more than other states that have had less restrictive energy policy. We as a nation, we as voters, need to make sure that we are letting our elected officials know that we understand and support rational energy policy that promotes affordable and reliable energy, that allows us to make decisions as families that don't break the bank. But these restrictive energy policies, they're really coming home to roost now, and we can't forget why we're here, particularly in this political environment now as we head up to the 2026 election cycle, where we're seeing more and more folks talk about affordable energy. Now, all that said, natural gas supplies are down just a touch. Demand is up. So we are seeing a little bit more, a little higher price for natural gas, and therefore a little bit higher price for electricity. And then we also have this kind of market trying to predict where we're going to go with data centers and AI and all the increased demand for power that's going to bring. So all that's putting a little bit of pressure on the system, and it's up to the states, it's up to Washington to make sure that the policies are right, and we're not, forcing a bunch of regulations on the industry that are redundant and unnecessary and just drive up prices. So we need to get this right, and we need to make sure that those politicians, political leaders, those states like California and New York and Massachusetts and New Jersey that have really got it wrong, in the last 10, 15 years. We recognize that, we reflect on it, and we vote for states that are doing the exact opposite of what California is doing.
You know, I had Scott Mason, the South Central Regional Administrator for the EPA, and he was talking about Lee Zeldin, the new EPA administrator, and how they are going with an energy-friendly, eco-friendly position and not trying to rule through regulations, which we saw terribly against the energy industry in the Brandon administration. But now going forward, we still have to maintain that healthy balance. But you talked about it, regulations. I mean, it stopped pipelines, it stopped LNG export facilities, and just so many other things. And right now we're trying to recover from that. And how do you see that battle and how we're getting to try to overcome that?
I think, listen, a lot of states are getting it right. We were just participating in a kind of a national organization of state legislators from around the country that were getting together to talk. One of the things that Consumer Energy Alliance was talking about is model legislation on state permitting reform, finding ways that you can make sure that consumers have input, have the ability to let their voices be heard, but also, kind of put the shot clock on things where at a certain point, whether it's an energy project or even like a building project, a commercial construction project. All these things kind of continue to get slowed down and mired in regulatory red tape and all this. So we need to find a way that we can, put an end date on everything where we know what the rules are. Industry knows what the rules are. The voters know what the rules are. And we have a little predictability. And we need that same thing in Washington. So permitting reform is absolutely key. All these groups that go out and just try to sue and litigate and prevent pipelines from being built and protest it all. Every time one of those groups is out there protesting, all of us should just hear dollar signs because that means the price of something's going up.
Yep.
And, we kind of need to make our voices heard and, make the silent majority's voice heard because these, shrill minority groups that are just a few dozen people have an outsized voice in all this, and it's kind of up to us to balance the record, and make sure that we are on a path to logical energy policy across the board. Every state needs it. None of us want to be California. The national average right now for gasoline, I think, is under $2.60 a gallon. I know Oklahoma's paying less than that, but California is still $5 a gallon for gasoline,
or higher, yeah.
So or higher. So it's just there in black and white. We can see it. We can see the bad policies and what they've done to that state, and what the good policies are doing for states like Oklahoma.
There are more and more scientists that are coming out and talking about the science of the climate catastrophe. The climate change theories and those kind of things like that. I think people are finally starting to understand that, man may have a very fraction of an effect on the climate, but climates are cyclical. We can't let it get out of hand, but still, David, people are starting to understand that, they started closing all these coal-fired power plants down. And now all of a sudden they don't have enough energy for those areas. And they're paying the price for it. Like you said, just mismanagement, mispredictability. And we're starting to see some of those things come back online because they're sustainable energy and not intermittent energy.
Correct. And the whole climate fiasco, listen, I think all of us are environmentalists. All of us want things to be cleaner and safer and, protect the environment and protect the future of the earth for our children. That I think everyone agrees with that. What we were seeing in the whole rhetoric around climate change was not about the environment. It was about transfer of wealth or whatever other political agenda these folks had. And in many cases, a lot of these so-called environmental rules and regulations actually had the opposite effect. They ended up increasing emissions. It was I'm glad to see a little more sense being injected in that conversation. but I'm also seeing out there this rhetoric around affordability that is being used by some folks on the left to try to make the voting public forget that it was their policies that led to this unaffordable situation.
Amen.
And likely a series of unreliable situations where states are going to have more blackouts and brownouts because of their bad policies.
We see these demonstrators and, like you said, these environmental groups, and I can't help but just look at them and say, okay, you all are wearing clothes. You all have a phone in your pocket. You probably drove there in your SUV. You use all this energy, and then you go out there, and it's just like window dressing. Or sometimes people just need something to rally against, I guess. So, David, can you stick around for this next segment, man?
Happy to do it, brother.
Fantastic. We're going to talk a little more about the AI expansion, the nuclear possibilities, the fission and fusion, and all kinds of great things as we continue our visit with David Holt, President of Consumers Energy Alliance, right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. One of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe, the catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Elk City Lube and Wash offers quick lube service and has 4 self-serve car wash bays plus 1 automatic touchless car wash with on-site services including oil and fuel service on gasoline and diesel vehicles, including motorcycles. Differential service. Also vacuum bays with a vending machine and a carpet shampooer. And Elk City Lube and Wash is your authorized Schaefer lubricant distributor. Schaefer products provide advanced lubricants for improved performance, reliability, and economy. Elk City Lube and Wash, 316 Northeastern Avenue in Elk City, 1/2 mile north of Walmart. Proudly owned and operated by Phil and Mary Wynn.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gredeman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with the Oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the Oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
Restaurants and feedlots, coffee shops and cafes, grocery stores, and convenience stores. The Penny News is there, waiting for you to take it home.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
This show brought to you in part by Camrock. Farmers use a lot of oil every season. Oilfield companies use a lot of oil all the time. Camrock's oil is the same specifications, lubricates the same as the designer brands, but costs a lot less. Camrock's oil costs less. Folks who use a lot of oil save a lot of money with Camrock. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City next to Fred's Steakhouse, one of 4 locations located in Elk City, Oklahoma City, Midland, Texas, Ulysses, Kansas. Online at Camrock Supply, C-A-M-Rock, CamrockSupply.com. 3 local guys with local ties doing business with their community. Speaking of local, DCP Services, a diversified oil field company offering the right services with the right people on the job. I can remember when Terry Davis started this company many moons ago as Davis Contract Pumping. Now they have a roustabout division, a lease operators division, a wireline division with both braided and slick line capabilities. And DCP's pump repair shop in Cordell continues to rebuild those pumps too like new. They don't dip them. They bake them. Get all the crud off. Put all brand new replacement parts. You can find DCP Services on Facebook or call Jeff Davis, 580-660-0501, 580-660-0501, and Fred's Steakhouse, your destination for fresh USDA-graded beef, ribeyes, New York strips, filet mignon, and sirloins, hand-cut daily by the in-house butcher. I owe one of these to our guest today. Fred's is the home of the $4.99 chicken fried steak, served daily, hand-battered country gravy, house-made mashed potatoes, freshly baked rolls, chicken's your choice, 7 kinds. Maybe seafood's what you crave. You got lots of that. Fried freshwater catfish, appetizers sure to please everyone, and cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts, all at Fred's. They also have a full-service bar, and they can host your private event. Located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City, call 580-243-2100. Order online on the Chow Now app. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's Fred's Steakhouse. All right, yeah, David, when you get here, I want to get you one of those chicken fried steaks, man.
You just teasing me, man. I listen to that every time I'm on your call, and it sounds better and better.
It is good stuff, no doubt about it. And it fills the plate. It's not a little bitty old dime-sized piece of meat. Speaking of meat, let's get right to the meat of the matter. These AI centers, they're creating a lot of electrical demand. I know we talk about them, and, we're going to continue to talk about them because they're here. There are a lot of pushback now from communities where they're suggesting these be put because of the water usage, the electricity usage. Here in Oklahoma, we have that behind-the-meter legislation that was passed, which was a nice forethought, which when these people come in, like they can put a gas-fired power plant, produce their own electricity so it doesn't pull away from the grid. In fact, what they don't use can go back into the grid. So tell us a little bit about what you think AI is doing and where it's going and how we're going to be able to cope with it.
Well, first, the United States needs to win the AI race, and I commend the administration for leaning into this hard, making it a priority. I think President Trump had some statement yesterday on kind of harmonizing AI, rules a little bit. We probably need to take a hard look at that. So, in order to win the AI race, we've got to build these data centers. So we absolutely, as a nation, need them. They're going to be job creators. They're going to be kind of the one of the many cornerstones of kind of economic opportunity going forward. But like you said, they are big. They use a lot of energy. At some point, we'll probably have some data center innovation that allows them to produce the heat or to produce the electricity and cool the data centers in a way that doesn't use as much electricity. But there's still a lot of questions, right? So where's the electricity coming from? Do we have issues with natural gas turbines from a supply chain standpoint? A lot of questions about that. We need to find a way to accelerate the supply chain around turbines. You mentioned natural gas. You mentioned nuclear in the lead up to this segment. That's got to be something that a lot of states and local governments take a hard look at, accelerate the development of small modular reactors and advanced nuclear technology, so that becomes a big part of our energy mix. We really need this what's called dispatchable, always available power that can ramp up on those hot summer days,
you need it,
ramp down on those days that are kind of nice temperature like where I am today. Or ramp back up on those cold winter nights. And that's natural gas and that's nuclear. So intermittent power is going to play a role. No doubt, particularly solar power has a good, viable future as part of our overall electricity mix. But we just need to recognize that when you build out solar, you got to build out backup, always available, dispatchable baseload power.
Right.
And that's going to be natural gas or nuclear. So, around AI, you like you said, the behind the meter is absolutely necessary. How that behind the meter functions with the grid is a question that all states and these local grid operators have to answer. What happens to ratepayers if a data center, has a $100 billion construction announcement, but they only build a quarter of it?
Right.
And we've done the rate case for all the electricity for all of it. So, who pays for that? The data center needs to bear the cost of those things. So,
Amen.
Still some unanswered questions to make sure that we as customers, as families, as small businesses don't get left holding the bag if some decisions change. But we also, at the same time, we need to recognize that electricity power demand is going to go up 2 to 3% in the next year and a half, 30, 40% in the next 15, 16 years. Again, it goes back to policy, how policy sets the playing field, comes up with logical rules, and then gets out of the way. Let's the market take care of it, and let's the power sector take care of it, and let the energy industry come in and take care of it. And the last thing I'll say, and I'll turn it back over to you, is and you mentioned this, I don't think industry is doing enough to really communicate to the local communities about the benefits. We are seeing more and more local pushback, and that's largely because there's a lack of communication. We've got the data centers and these hyperscalers that are having their conversations. We've got the energy industry that's working on how do we meet the energy needs. We got states and federal governments that are leaning in. But the forgotten part of all this is the local community and the citizens in those local communities. And are we doing enough to really talk about all the economic benefits, the job benefits, the tax-based benefits, the future benefits associated with AI when you pick that community and you're going to build out that data center in community X, Y, or Z? I think that's a forgotten piece of all this, and that's one of the things I've been thinking about a little bit.
Yeah, education is definitely the key. They use that fear factor, when they come in and they oppose these things. I mean, I could see some of it like, lost farmland. Well, don't put it where it's rocky. Don't put it out in the middle of a wheat field, and those kind of things like that. But also national security. David, people don't understand that this AI, why we want to win the race, is because it makes our nation more secure. I think a lot of people have misconception about artificial intelligence. First they think about, okay, robots are going to take over the world, the Terminator kind of thing, but the artificial intelligence, what it does is just compiles all this data and allows a machine to, predict. And it's amazing what this artificial intelligence can do. And a lot of these AI centers, they're about data storage too, the cloud, basically. Somebody's got to generate the power and the space to put all this information. But national security is the thing that I look at. But I'm like you. I think that education is the key. I think people need to look at it. And then also placement. Be smart where you place these AI data centers. I think that's part of it too. And I think the states know better than the federal government and where to put them.
You and I are 100% on the same page. I think that's, and it's the private sector too. It's the private sector needs to be smart about where they propose to place it, and kind of come in and talk to the community and understand that, hey, this location here maybe is not the best because of a variety of reasons. Let's look over here in this rocky place, or something like that, like you described. There's options everywhere. The United States has abundant land that's available for data centers. There are, and particularly with states that have done the behind-the-meter application, then there's less urgency to attach the data center back to the grid. You eventually need to do that, but on the construction phase 1, you might be able to do something where you're disconnected from the grid, but you have your own private power. And then eventually, when you have surplus, you can attach it to the grid. So there's lots of consideration that can go into this to allow the data center folks that are constructing the data centers to make really good decisions that make sense to the community, make sense to the state. But like you said, for manufacturing, for automation, for immediate information, for security, national security, all those things. This is the future. This is the next great revolution. Yep. You know, we had the IT revolution in the 90s. We had the industrial revolution in the turn of the last century. And the AI revolution is really going to fundamentally change the entire fabric of society. And I think it's incumbent upon the United States to kind of win that race, control most of AI here in the United States to the extent we can, and really understand how much it's going to improve our lives, change our lives. I think there's a lot of fear about, like you said, robots taking jobs away. I mean, I look at it as it changes what jobs we focus on, but we're going to need the jobs, right? You're going to need the AI technician, and you're going to need the folks that understand, how AI, works in conjunction with manufacturing and bottling and packaging and all the rest. So a lot of opportunity in my view, and a lot of economic opportunity.
We need to definitely take a look at it. David, man, you're a stud, dude. I really appreciate you, what it is you do with your organization. I'm going to let you stump a little bit. Consumers Energy Alliance, how can people be a part of that and find out what's going on and even, just be a part of the alliance?
Yeah, join the Army. We got a 2026 election cycle coming up, and energy is going to be a big part of the debate. ConsumerEnergyAlliance.org. Jump online. You can find me. You can find all our social media there. Get in touch. Join. Get all our information. We send out a weekly bulletin, things like that. Real active in about 22 states now, in addition to Washington, D.C. So we're leaning in on this around the country. Infrastructure, pipelines, transmission lines, power sector, natural gas, onshore, offshore, oil, nuclear, but really looking at it from the consumer, what it means to families, small businesses, and how we can help give a voice to families and small businesses around the country. And we work for Fred's Steakhouse. So
that's it, man.
The price is cheap.
They consume energy. I think they cook on natural gas, too, by the way.
Exactly.
ConsumersEnergyAlliance.org. David, it's going to probably be next year before you and I visit again. So Happy New Year, but Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. Merry Christmas. Best to the family, and we'll talk in a few weeks.
Yeah, and try to make sure you stump for Jasmine Crockett down there in the Texas area. Good gravy. Isn't that the funniest thing in the world?
Man, she came out strong yesterday, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy,
That's a parody.
About two brain cells less than a sack of hammers. But anyway, brother,
oh my God.
Appreciate you, David, again, for what you and your organization do, and fighting for the everyday common individual, and that's what it's all about here in the United States. So, David, have a blessed day. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and we'll talk to you next year, brother.
Merry Christmas to you, Shawn. Thanks for everything.
You bet. Have a great day. All right. I'll be back with the mop-up segment right after this on 96.5 KECO's Exploring Energy Radio Show.
The Exploring Energy Show.
This Christmas, be sure and visit Dameron Jewelers in downtown Elk City and enjoy savings throughout the store. You'll find Western Oklahoma's finest selection of diamonds, plus custom jewelry pieces, Fossil, Baby G, G-Shock, and Citizens men's and women's watches, unique gift ideas, and more. Holiday hours, they'll be open every Monday through Saturday after Thanksgiving through December 20th, and open Sunday, December 21st from 1 to 5, and Christmas Eve from 9 to 4. Remember, this holiday season, shop local, shop smart, shop Elk City, and shop Dameron Jewelers in downtown Elk City, where they're famous for diamonds.
House shoes are always a good little stocking stuffer, or just like a cozy little gift to get a house shoe with a blanket combined. I don't feel like you can go wrong there. We have a brand called Spongel. It's soap on a sponge, and it goes up to at least 25 plus uses. That's a great stocking stuffer to come in and get. We also have little jewelry boxes. We have teleties. We have perfume. So several different items to look out for stockings.
What are those right over? They look familiar. What am I pointing at?
Those beautiful nutcrackers. I just love nutcrackers. They are just so fun and just make a great table display.
Tell me about these things right here. These
They kind of remind me of the Whoville trees. They are just fun addition to winter, and I feel like you can leave them up all winter long. It's not just one of those Christmas trees that you feel like you want to just take down as soon as Christmas is over. Any gift you buy, whether it is small or you have 4 bag loads, we offer free gift wrapping. Grandview Pharmacy and Gifts, now located at 1503 West 3rd Street in Elk City.
Timber Oklahoma is your safe and reliable expert tree care service. At Timber, we provide professional tree trimming and removal with a focus on safety, quality, and clear communication. With over 10 years of experience and certified in the Electrical Hazards Awareness Program, our crews provide tree trimming and removal, storm damage cleanup, utility line clearance. Call Timber today at 580-732-3400 or see us online at www.timberokla.com or email us at customercare@timberoklahoma.com.
Do farmers and ranchers need different kinds of tires?
Yes, they do. The farmers and ranchers, generally need a heavy ply tire because they're always pulling a trailer, got hay bales, have equipment. They generally have a lot of tires on the ground. Trailers and trucks and equipment.
Is the lifespan of their tires different from a regular passenger?
Correct. Yes, they are. They generally are a little bit less just because they are abused more than an average customer. They need a good set of tires because if they're down for a day, they're in trouble. It is costing them money. They should go to L&R Tire. We have them in stock and we know what they need.
Why have they used you through the years?
Good service. Like I said, we always generally have the tires in stock and we treat them with respect. L&R Tire, 1204 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, the home of Bridgestone Firestone tires. At L&R Tire, we'll take good care of your vehicle.
Fence building or welding, John 6 will get her done. 6 Wire Company, 580-497-6213.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Here we go. It is the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Thanks again for sticking around. David Holt, what a fantastic guest. That guy really taking care of business. So is ASCO Equipment. They're helping take care of your business by providing you with, affordable and reliable equipment, heavy equipment. The big stuff, tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, skid steers, pavers, compactors. ASCO is a leading provider for the Oklahoma construction, ag, and energy sectors. One has 27 locations right here, one in Elk City, 513 West 20th Street. For rental, rent to own, trade in, buy equipment, buy used equipment, buy new equipment, they've got it all. ASCO, family-owned company, been operating under the core values of honoring God, developing people, pursuing excellence, and growing profitability since 1960. ASCO, they've got 140 field service trucks. 140. It comes right where your equipment is. They'll service your equipment no matter where you bought it, who you bought it from, when you bought it, or what brand it is. $21 million worth of equipment parts in stock. Flexible rental options, rent to own, like I said. Get a hold of ASCO Equipment. Parts sales, they've got them. Jeremy Bridgman, branch manager. Equipment rental, E.J. Gredeman. Equipment sales, Bart Shields. Some great folks out there. 323-3422 is the phone number. Or online, ASCOEQ.com, ASCOEQ.com. If your power goes out at midnight, you can call Carter Electric. They provide 24-hour emergency electrical service on your side of the meter. Want to make sure your power stays on regardless? Well, they're a Generac generator authorized dealer. They can size that Generac generator for your business, for your home. They can sell it to you, install it professionally, and come back and service it. Kervin and Mary Orgain, they're the ones who help you see the light of day even at night. They own Carter Electric. A lot of electric work goes on overhead. That's why Carter Electric has pole trucks, man lifts to get way up high if there's a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted, it's Carter Electric. You call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. And that is providing you this hour's weather forecast as a service of Carter Electric. All right, here's what we got in the forecast, and it's not much moisture or any. Today, sunny with a high near 66, west-southwest wind 5 to 13 miles an hour, gust as high as 20. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 40. West-southwest winds coming north-northeast tonight after midnight. Winds could gust as high as 28 miles per hour this evening. Sunny with a high near 57. North-northeast wind 13 to 18 miles an hour tomorrow. Becoming west-southwest. Winds could gust as high as 28 miles per hour tomorrow. Mostly clear Wednesday night, low around 37. Thursday, sunny with a high near 66. Southwest winds around 10 miles an hour Thursday. Thursday night, clear, low around 37. Friday, sunny with a high near 57. Friday night, mostly clear, low around 27. Saturday, sunny with a high near 53. About 21 Saturday night, mostly sunny with a high near 41 on Sunday. Sunday night, low around 29, and then next Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 56. So no precipitation in the forecast as of yet. Maybe we'll get some of that for Christmas. Be wonderful. Here's some energy news in my briefs. NextEra Energy plans to make improvements to the original design of an Iowa nuclear plant that closed in 2020 following damage from a major storm, and it looks to restart the facility. A coalition of 143 solar companies and industry representatives call on Congress to override a Trump administration policy that they say threatens hundreds of solar projects that touch land managed by the Interior Department. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said China has an AI infrastructure advantage over the U.S., namely in construction and energy. While the U.S. retains an edge on AI chips, he warned China can build large projects at staggering speeds. While it takes 3 years to build a data center in the U.S., Huang says China can build a hospital in a weekend. Wow. Clean energy industry officials asked Congress to overrule a Trump administration policy subjecting proposed solar and wind projects on federal land to increase scrutiny. A pipeline fails in southern Monterey County, California, spilling more than 4,000 gallons of oil and related wastewater. Arkansas's largest not-for-profit healthcare organization invests in a 13-megawatt solar farm, which it expects will provide about half of its energy needs. The protective shield built around the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site in Ukraine can no longer do its job to confine radioactive waste as a result of a drone strike earlier this year, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. As Bloomberg reported, local law enforcement is hunting down about 14,000 illegal Bitcoin mining operations in Malaysia, which they say have stolen around $1.1 billion in electricity over the last 5 years. And Russia targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure overnight, meaning another winter of power outages for Ukrainians as Vladimir Putin tries to crush their resolve. Here's some energy stock prices, only one red on the whole deal. American Electric Power up 80 cents, trading at $116.53. Apache Corporation up 3 cents, trading at $26.17 a share. Baker Hughes Company up 17 cents, trading at $47.56. ConocoPhillips up 21 cents, trading at $93.10. Devon Energy down 8 cents, trading at $37.49 a share. EOG Resources up 35 cents, trading at $110.97. Expand Energy Corp up 8 cents to $119.15. $119.15 a share. Of General Electric Corp up $2.12 to $289.21. Halliburton up 22 cents, trading at $28.30. Helmerich and Payne, H&P up 48 cents, trading at $29.78 a share. Liberty Energy is up 7.5 cents to $19.49 a share. Occidental Petroleum up 13 cents, trading at $41.50. OG&E up 27 cents, trading at $43.15. One Oak up 67 cents, trading at $75.61. Phillips 66 up 44 cents, trading at $139.39. Sandridge Energy up 13 cents, trading at $15.03. Schlumberger up 31 cents, trading at $38.55. Williams Company up 21 cents, trading at $62.18. Again, don't forget ParagonTV.com. Wow, a lot of things happening. Tonight, Hydro Weekly at Leedy, Merritt at Cheyenne, Reagan, Eric at Hollis, Shattuck at Hammond, Arapahoe, Butler, Thomas Fay, Custer. Again, appreciate David Holt, Consumers Energy Alliance. For all of our great sponsors, I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks for listening. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day and Merry Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hottest country music on the planet. This is KECO, Elk City.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump's roadshow stops in the Keystone State tonight. The president's trying to prove the polls wrong, which shows he's underwater with the American people over his handle.